speaking of wailing away on characters, we're going to teleport somewhere safe. So we are going to have a quick conversation, or maybe a not so quick conversation. We are going to cover Eula's Constellations. Because loads of people are going to be pulling for Eula, myself included. And I just want to have a solid idea of where to stop in her constellation tree. I have heard that C1 is really strong, but we're going to get into it. We'll read them all and see. So for Eula Constellation 1, every time Ice Tide, Vortex, Grimheart stacks are consumed, Eula's physical damage is increased by 30% for 6 seconds. Each stack consumed will increase the duration of this effect by by 6 seconds up to a maximum of 18 seconds, which is actually incredibly strong. This right here is an insane damage boost. C1 Eula, that is up. That's what's up. That is up. What the hell? Decreases the cooldown of Ice Tide Vortex holding mode, making it identical to the press cooldown. Let's look at the cooldown disparity first. Alright. So that's a 6-second cooldown reduction. That's decent. Is it worth it? Like, is that worth it? Let's take one more second. Let's look at the damage. Okay, so it's 100% more damage at base. Alright, that's a lot. It's situational though, so it's not as good as her C1. So far, I'm still going to recommend stopping at C1. And this is a regular, increases the talent level by 3. Lightfall swords deal 25% increased damage against opponents with 50% less HP, or with less than 50% HP. That's fine. I wouldn't say it's game breaking. I definitely wouldn't say you need to pull for C4 for this. So C4 is a skip. Increases the level of Ice Tide Vortex by 3, up to a maximum of 15. That's just a skill increase, it's fine. But Ice Tide Vortex is... Once you're down this far, the thing is you're already getting these two. So I feel like C5 is pretty valuable for where it is. Lightfall swords created by Glacial Illumination start with 5 stacks of energy. Normal attacks, elemental skills, and elemental bursts have a 50% chance to grant the Lightfall sword an additional stack. Yo. See, this is incredible. It's not like, I wouldn't necessarily say it's at the level of like Kazuha, but like this is serious. Like for what she is, for a damage healer, this is exactly what you want, because this is some serious extra damage. So overall, I'd say if you're if you're a Giga Leviathan, pull for C6, why not? But if you're a low spender that's looking to grab maybe a few constellations to see what's best, C1 Eula is where I would recommend stopping. It's a really solid constellation. The next one is a little less solid, and I wouldn't say worth the price. Because you gotta remember, there's a good chance, there's a 50-50 chance that you're only gonna be getting Eula every other 5-star. So, that's what I'm taking into account here when I'm telling you whether or not you should go very deep into our constellation tree. And honestly, C1, worth it. Here's the problem. That's kind of my qualm with the double rerun. With Eula coming out of nowhere, people that wanted Eula didn't have any chance to prepare for her, and now we have Itto coming up. So if you were someone who wanted Eula but also wanted Itto, you have a decision to make, and it's like you have a week. You have 1 week to decide: are you going to pull for the character that you have known is coming, or the character that you've been wanting and had no idea and you're getting surprised by? Like, even if Albedo's an easy skip, this new banner system it's a little much when they're not announcing the banners ahead of time. But speaking of the Chalk Prince, let's look into his constellations and see how deep is it worth to go. Transient Blossoms, granted by Albedo's Abiogenesis Solar Isotoma, generate 1.2 energy for Albedo. Okay, so C1 is about energy. I haven't heard of Albedo needing energy or having energy issues. If you guys are Albedo players, or if you have heard of it, let me know, in the chat or in the comments. But I haven't heard of this being a necessary thing. Let's look at his burst cost to see if it's 80. It's at 40 cost burst too. So I guess this constellation just helps you burst more often, because a 40 cost burst, especially on a double Geo team, shouldn't be too difficult to manage. But we'll see. I guess C1 is a go for it, I guess, if you're going for something deeper, but I wouldn't necessarily pull for it. Transient Blossoms, generated by Abiogenesis Solar Isotoma, grant Fatal Reckoning for 30 seconds. Unleashes your burst, consumes all stack of Fatal Reckoning. Each stack of Fatal Reckoning increases the damage dealt by your burst and by your Fatal Blossoms, which is your skill, I believe, and your Progeniture Tectonic Tides burst by 30% of Albedo's defense, and you can get up to 4 stacks. So you can get up to 120% of your defense into your burst damage? Okay. Now this is what we're talking about here. This is a hell of a constellation. He puts the DPS and sub DPS with this constellation. This, I would say, is comparable to even Kazuha's C2. So this is where, so far, this is where to stop. This is a hell of a constellation. And you got your talent increase. I'd say it's fine, because he does. Most people build him as a support DPS that functions around his skill, so this for him is fine. Active party members gain a 30% plunge attack damage increase. Okay, so if you're a Zhao main, but in all seriousness, if you do main Zhao, honestly, if you're a Kazuha fan too, because people don't know this, well, not everyone does, but Kazuha is the same plunging attack multiplier as Zhao. So honestly, if you are a Zhao or kind of a Kazuha main, this might be worth for you, but honestly, only if you're a Zhao main, because man, that is C4. That's really deep to go for plunging attack damage. Alright, this is C5. I'd say C5 is meh, considering that, well, actually C5 is pretty good, because you have the opening of the Phanerozoic. The opening of the Phanerozoic makes this actually a really good constellation. Alright, active party members within your Solar Isotoma field who are protected by a crystallized shield have their damage increased by 17%. That's only 2% more increase than Toma gives. And I mean, I know this is just flat damage increase, whereas Toma is only your basic and charge attacks and stuff. But you also need a crystallized shield, which I guess is easy to get in the Isotoma fields, but I don't know. I feel like if this was for a C6, for as much money as you're paying, it wouldn't have killed them to just be active party members within the Isotoma field get a damage increase. If they take off the crystallized shield clause, they actually have a pretty solid constellation that I would recommend pulling for. But as it stands, C2 is where you stop. Low spenders, medium spenders, C2 is where you stop, because any deeper and you're kind of over investing in Albedo in my opinion. So that is how deep you should go for Eula and Albedo. That's really all I have to say about that. Hey everyone, this is Editing Yoshi. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and catch us over on Twitch on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Hope to see you all there. Have a good one.